off with this eye look, we are going to be priming the eyes with the Painterly Paint Pot. So I'm just using a concealer brush and just kind of using my fingers and kind of patting it in and spreading it out so that the eyeshadows don't go on cakey. I'm starting with this first eyeshadow here from the Suva palette. This shade is Madrid, and then I'm just kind of using that from the crease up. Right below the brow bone, and just kind of adding on color gradually. Going back into the palette, and I'm going to use Eyeliner, starting in the outer corner, kind of working my way in to the inner corner of the eye with this blending brush. I believe this is Morphe brushes, and just kind of blending, adding on a little bit more of a color, and then blending as much as I can to get that to fade into the Madrid. And then I'm going back with the previous brush, not adding any other color, and then helping to buff that out. I am using this is I believe an actual brow or angled concealer brush, but this is by Sigma as well, and this is Night Market. So I'm using the Suva palette and going back in here and using the Night Market. And if you guys have not heard about Suva, you want to check them out. These colors are really pigmented, and I really love them. And this is the Neutral Necessities palette. I'm using that previous blending brush and kind of going back and kind of blending that out a little bit, add a little bit more of the eyeliner, so it kind of like fades into the black. I don't really want to blend it too much where you can't see where it stops and starts, because I want it to be a little bit more dramatic with the Night Market and the black shade. But yeah, I really want it to kind of look like an eyeliner going all the way into the eye. So just kind of like working that out, just, you know, so it suits my preference. I am using Jordana Cat Eyeliner, and I'm just using that on the ends of that to actually really create a sharp line. And then I'll be carving this out with the Makeup Forever 12 Color Flash Palette. This is the white shade. I use this on like a lot of my eye looks. I really love that. You don't have to buy the entire 12 Color Flash Palette. You can buy the individual shades from Morphe brushes, not Morphe brushes, but Makeup Forever on their website. Alright, I'm going back in with that black and just kind of sharpening that line, and then add a little bit more of that 12 Color Flash palette here, that white shade. Then I'm going on top of that, and I'm sealing this with a powder. You know, you need to seal all of your creams with the powder. And then I'm using the eyeshadow. I'm using MAC Blank Type, and that is a matte eyeshadow. And I'm just kind of patting that on top of that cream that I've applied, and basically all over that cream. So wherever I put that, I'm just adding that to kind of seal it in here. And if you mess up, you can always go back and try to fix it with concealer or whatnot. So going back underneath the eye here, this is kind of like reverse. So I'm using Madrid underneath the eye. And then once I apply that along the entire lash line and almost to the inner corner, but not quite, I'm going back with eyeliner and a smaller brush or detailed brush. I'm using the ColourPop White Gel Liner. I really like that. Inexpensive, and it works pretty well. Alright, going back into the palette again, and then I'll be using the Night Market. And I'm using a angled eyeliner brush for this, and I really want to kind of really stay right underneath the waterline, right onto the lashes. I don't want to blend it out too much. I wanted to make it look like it's almost like a line, so I'm trying to be really precise with that. Going back with the Jordana eyeliner, cat eyeliner, and then I'm just going to line my eyes here again. And then I'm coming underneath that white, and this is another opportunity, I guess, to really sharpen that white line by using this eyeliner, like right on top there, and fix that up. Then I'm using the Lena Lashes Monroe. Got these on sale, and I love them. Lena lashes has some really awesome lashes. You guys should check them out. All right, and then I'm using the Kiko Milano Unlimited foundation, and you know, generally I wouldn't really use a foundation, but because it's not my shade and it's more of a bronzer for me, then that's what I'm using it for. I'm using it as a bronzer to help contour. And then I'm using the Kat Von D Concealer Creme. This is, I was actually able to get this as one of the Sephora's, I guess, exclusive just sample options or whatever. So I'm not sure how to phrase it, but so I've checked that out, and you guys, like, I love the wand. I love it. I will definitely be buying this. And it just goes on really, really smooth. So I really, really like it. Where I feel like the, you know, like NARS kind of failed with theirs not being as blendable and creamy and smooth. And then where Urban Decay's is nice, but it's not as like creamy as perhaps I would like. This definitely does that all. So I really like it. Okay, and then I am using the Sasha Cosmetics. This is the Buttercup Press. So I'm just using it pressed. I haven't used it in loose format in a while. I make less of a mess with it. So I'm really loving this pressed powder, and I'm just kind of patting that in where I apply the concealer. And then now time to make some magic here with this makeup and contour and just give my face life. So I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Havana for this. And when I carve out my cheekbones, I'm going to add a little bit of the espresso right in the actual corners next to my ears. So I'll be adding a little bit of that there, but pretty much it's all Havana. I'm trying not to go too drastic, too dark for this look, but just to kind of, you know, slim my face a good bit. Give myself a little liposuction here. And then I'm using a little bit more of the espresso underneath my chin there. Alright, so the first time I'm using the City Color Cosmetics palette or any of their products. So this time was Beauty Palette. I saw on another YouTuber's video, and I was like, oh my goodness, let me check that out. So I bought it, and this is the first time I'm using it. So far, I love it. I mean, did you see that pigment? Like, that is that pigment is amazing for an inexpensive product. You know, I'm learning that you do not have to spend a whole lot of money to really get a valuable product. So this is one of those times where that has been proven. So I'm going to use that on the inner corners of my eye as well. I always like to, you know, bring a little light to the inner corners of my eye, contour that out a little bit, bring a little light in with such a, you know, such a dark shades that I'm using on my eye. So, and I'm adding a little bit, you know, back to my nose. I didn't apply very well with my finger, so I'm just using that, and I'm going to use the leftover product right underneath the, right in the arch of the eyebrow. And then I end up getting that Tarte palette. I've cashed in some of my points, and I got that Tarte 500 point kit. So this is the lip liner that came with it, and I will have that pop up on the screen because I don't remember what it is. And then I also use that lipstick as well that came with it. It is not a matte lipstick. And then I use Stila on top of that in the bow area. But yeah, this is the finished look. So I am so glad that you stayed to the end. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and don't forget to list any of your requests, and I will get that video up, the next video up, as soon as I can. Thanks guys.